So, thank you for coming today. Can I take your full name?
Yep, it's Sam Lane.
Hi Sam. Am I okay to call you Sam?
Yep, it's absolutely fine.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so my name is Rachel Parsons, and I'm a psychological wellbeing practitioner. Okay, my role is to support people who have common mental health difficulties such as depression and anxiety. The idea today is to get a full understanding as to how things are affecting you at the moment. Just to give you a little bit of background about our service. So we work as a team, and there's different professionals within our team, and we all work supporting people with common mental health difficulties. Okay. So today we'll be going through some questions to get a bit of more information about what's happening for you at the moment, and also to go through some standard questionnaires which we cover every time, and then at the end of the session we'll cover what our service does and the different options that are available to you.
Okay.
Is that alright?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
So, if you'd like to start with telling me what the main problem is that you're facing at the moment.
I think it's just I've been feeling really down recently, the last few months or so. Really struggling to kind of just get up and do things really, and I went to the doctor and ended up here.
Right. Okay, so you referred yourself to, well, you went to GP, so he referred you here because you've been feeling a bit down.
That's right, yeah.
And struggling to get up, you said?
Yeah, to kind of do things really.
Okay.
Do things.
So struggling to do things. Okay, so I just want to go back to you said that you've been feeling down. Can you tell me a bit about what that means to you?
I suppose I'm not as interested in doing, like, seeing friends, seeing family.
Okay.
I tend to just sit around and I watch TV a lot of the time, which I don't even really like doing. Yeah, just kind of don't feel like I'm not myself really, I suppose.
So you don't feel like yourself at the moment?
No.
And then you mentioned a few things that are quite difficult for you there at the moment, like not seeing your friends.
Yeah, I mean they're still asking me to go places, but I'm just like making excuses or not answering the phone, or just avoiding them really. Right.
Okay. So you're not seeing your friends as much. They're still contacting you, but you're tending to avoid.
That's right.
Speaking to them. Okay. So does that mean that you're seeing them less than you used to?
Yeah, definitely the last month or so I would have been seeing them less. There's one friend that comes round a lot, but they've always done that. Other than that, I haven't been out the last few weekends, I wouldn't say.
And when you say going out, what do you mean by that?
Used to go just things like watch football, go into town during Saturday day. Go spend time with my brother.
Okay. So a couple of things that you used to do that was quite social, generally with your friends, watching football, going to town, and you also mentioned seeing your brother. So they're things that you used to do, and you said that you're not tending to do those as much.
No, certainly not. No. I'm not doing. I think people are coming to me. I'm not going to anything else.
Right. Okay. And you also mentioned that something that you're doing more of is watching television.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of get in from work and TV goes on, and then I just wait for kind of 9, 10 o'clock, and then just go to bed.
Right. Okay.
There's a few things I like watching, but most of it is just kind of on really, just as something to do.
Yeah. Okay. So watching TV more and then going to bed.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you're doing more of that just didn't use to?
Doing more of. I can't think of anything else, really. No, not really. I'm probably sleeping a bit more. Okay. Possibly.
Okay, that's good. So just to we'll just go back to that a little bit, or just to recap on what you've done, what things that are different for you in terms of the things that you do. So you said that you're seeing your friends less; they're contacting you, but you're not contacting them back. And as a consequence, you're not going to football, you're not going to town, not
Yeah.
seeing your brother as much. What you're finding is you're tending to watch TV
Yeah.
from work
Generally.
till bed.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're. Could you tell me a little bit more about what's going on for you with work?
Well, I work 9 to 5, and I kind of get there, and I haven't missed much time or anything, so I'm still getting there, but I don't think I'm working as well as I used to.
Yeah.
No one's noticed anything yet, but I don't feel like I'm doing as much as I used to, and certainly don't enjoy it as much as I used to.
Right.
I kind of just turn up and get it done and then go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it really.
Yeah. What is it that you do?
Recruitment consultancy.
Okay.
Just like admin.
Right.
But yeah, I mean it's a very boring job. There's nothing.
Right.
Just put stuff on the computer.
Okay. So you're going and you haven't missed. You haven't been off sick or anything. You said you're going, but you're not doing as much.
No,
during the
it's
day.
never really been. It's not been my dream job or anything. But
Okay.
it's always been fine.
Yeah.
But now, I really. It's a big effort to get there.
Okay. So it sounds like it's difficult to get there for you, but you are going.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Attending. Yeah. Okay. That's positive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't afford to lose the job, so
Right. Okay.
it's kind of one of those things I have to do, really.
Okay. I just wanted to take a step back to something that you've mentioned a couple of times about in your sleep pattern. You said that you were struggling to get up right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit more about your sleep pattern?
Well, I just seem to be a lot more tired, I think. I'm like I said, I'm going to bed early, just to kind of as a break from watching TV. Go to bed, probably don't get to sleep very quickly. But then when I wake up in the morning, I don't feel like I've kind of had a good night's sleep.
Yeah. So you're going to bed early, straight from watching television, and you're sleeping, but then in the morning you feel like you've not really slept properly.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I put music, put the radio on when I go to bed, and then probably take a couple of hours to just kind of wind down, and then then I just wake up normal time, like 7:30 or so, but I just don't feel refreshed really.
Okay. So you're going to bed at about 9 to 10, you said.
Yeah, going to bed. Yeah.
Yeah, and you said you get up about 7:30ish. So how many hours are you getting roughly?
So probably 7 or so. So
Okay.
I think that's enough.
So you're tending to lie awake in bed?
Yeah, a couple of hours.
Okay. Okay, and that might be something that we can look at in more detail further down the line about how you can perhaps make some changes to help with your sleep pattern.
Okay.
You said that that your sleep pattern is different to what it was, and you're feeling tired quite a lot.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any other kind of physical difficulties that you're facing recently.
Tired. I'm not like at work, I suppose. That I'm not really concentrating on things. I feel quite irritable a lot of the time. Can't really think of physical.
No. Okay. So a couple of things that you've noticed is that your concentration is quite low at work, and you feel a bit irritable at work as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's mainly sleep, feeling tired, poor concentration, and feeling irritable. That the things that are going on for you in a physical sense. So
I'm not eating as much as I was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're tell me a bit more about that.
Well, I always used to be quite good at cooking. Well, I probably am still good at cooking. I just don't do it as much anymore. So I can't. I used to prepare lunch for work, but I just don't tend to bother doing that anymore. Very rarely have any kind of breakfast, and then dinner is just like a quick thing, really. Whatever I've got in. So whereas usually I would cook nice stuff.
Okay, so you used to cook quite a bit, and used to prepare lunch as well, and now you're tending not to.
Yeah, I just take easy options all the time, really.
Okay, so how many meals would you say that you're eating a day?
well, one proper meal, well, one full meal, and then kind of, I don't know, a bit of toast in the morning maybe, and I might get a sandwich at work, something like that.
Okay.
But I don't prepare anything really.
Yeah. So you're not feeling as hungry. You can't be bothered to do the cooking.
That's right, yeah.
And as a consequence, you're still eating, but you're not eating in the same way that you were.
Yeah, I'm eating okay, just not like I was.
Okay. Okay, so just to sum up, in a physical sense, it's tiredness and poor sleep that's affecting you the most, and there's also some poor concentration, you're feeling irritable, and your appetite has been affected.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that I've missed there?
No, not really. No, tiredness is the main one.
Tiredness is the main one for you. Okay.
Yeah, just energy and tiredness.
Yeah, it must be quite hard when you're going to work and stuff and you're feeling quite tired.
That's the difficult bit.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm just wondering, when you're feeling like that, when you're feeling tired and perhaps you're watching the TV rather than doing the things that you used to do, what's running through your mind?
Well, not much when I'm watching TV. I think that's why I watch TV really.
Okay.
The mornings I kind of just don't want to get up. I suppose that's what's going through my mind. I can't be bothered to go to work. That's the main. I mean, I can't be bothered really. Is the main thing. Yeah, I haven't got the energy. Yeah. And I think, like I said before, I just feel like I'm not myself at the moment.
Yes, just that right beginning. So it sounds like I can't be bothered, and something I can't want to go to work, that I can't want to do things is the thing that's bothering you, and I'm not myself. It's a thought that's prominent for you. How often would you say you have those thoughts?
Most days, I suppose. Particularly with I can't be bothered, really.
So the main thoughts are I can't be bothered, I'm not myself. Do you think there's any other thoughts that you're having to cover it?
I think they're all kind of similar things, like what's the point, and I suppose about my friends, I think that they wouldn't want to see me, which is probably why I mean, I don't feel like I could see them anyway, but I don't think I'd be very good company. So.
Right. Okay, thank you for that. So, just to sum up what you've told me so far, the main issue that you went to GP about was that you were feeling down, and you said the word struggling. And the thing that's running through your mind is that you can't be bothered to do things, you haven't got the energy, you don't feel yourself. And as a consequence, you've seen your friends less, you're not doing the things that you used to enjoy, like watching football, and you're feeling tired quite a lot of time, and your sleeping appetite affected. Does that kind of sum up what you've told me?
Yeah, I think that's it really. That's what's happening.
Yeah, okay. I'm just wondering what, on a day-to-day basis, what triggers off feeling down for you?
Triggers off feeling down. I wouldn't say there's anything. Going to work is always, or the thought of going to work is the biggest.
It's just the thought.
I think if I liked it more, then that might be a positive thing. But as it is, that gets me down. Otherwise, it's just a kind of general low mood, really, isn't it? It's pretty constant.
Okay, so you feel like it's quite a constant thing. But one of the things that you're particularly aware of is the thought of going to work makes you feel quite low. So just going to have a look at an area that we cover on each session that we meet, and this is looking at your safety and the safety of the people around you. It's a series of questions that we ask to ensure that you're safe, and that the people around you are safe as well. So I'm just going to firstly start with a question of whether you've had any suicidal thoughts recently.
No, I haven't thought of I don't want to kill myself.
So there's no current thoughts?
No, nothing like that.
No. Have you had any of those kind of thoughts in the past?
Not that I can remember.
No. Okay. And have you made any plans to kill yourself recently?
No, absolutely not.
And has that been something that you've put a plan into action? Put together a plan in the past?
No.
No. Okay. And have you made any actual actions or made any preparations to kill yourself recently?
No, not thinking. No.
Okay. And is that something that you've done in the past?
No.
No. Okay. And what would you say it is that is in your life that prevents you from having those thoughts?
Well, I've got my friends and my brother. I mean, a lot. I just don't want to do it personally, I suppose. I kind of recognise it's a problem with depression or kind of my mood. So
okay.
I just am hopeful that it's going to improve, really.
So hope.
Yeah.
That's a really positive thing to have a hold of, isn't it? So suicide isn't something that has sort of come into your head in the past, and it isn't currently. You've never made any attempt in your life in the past, and it's your friends and your brother and the thought of hope that kind of keeps you safe from that. Just going to ask you a couple of questions as well about self-harm. So whether you've had any thoughts about wanting to harm yourself in any way recently?
No, can't say I have.
Okay, and is that something that you've had in the past?
No.
So no thoughts in the past. Okay. And have you made any plans presently to actually harm yourself?
No.
And have you made plans in the past to harm yourself?
No.
Okay. And following on from that, have you actually put into action any ways of harming yourself in the present time?
No, I haven't harmed myself. Not on purpose.
No, and you haven't done that in the past? No. Okay. Okay, thank you. So self-harm isn't something that has occurred to you in the past or the present, and you've got no plans and made no actions in the past?
That's right.
Or present. Do you feel that you're at risk from anybody at the moment?
No.
No, you don't feel that you're at risk of harm, no. And do you feel that, are you having any thoughts about wanting to harm other people? No. Do you feel like you're looking after yourself properly?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking after myself as well as I was. Like I said about my food, like eating and stuff. I'm not doing, because I'm not getting out as much, so I kind of sit around a lot, but I'm doing okay, I think, just not as well as I was. Okay, so you feel like you're not doing as well as you were. Yeah. But the way that you feel that you're not perhaps looking after yourself as well is that you're not going out as much and you're not eating in the way that you used to. But other than that, you feel like you are looking after yourself properly. Okay. And you don't have any dependents, do you? No. Okay, so there isn't any concern about neglecting anyone else? No. Okay, so thank you for asking those. I know they can be quite difficult questions to answer sometimes, but it does sound like you're not having any suicidal thoughts or self-harm thoughts at the moment, and there's no concern that you, in the current time, that you want to harm yourself in any way. That's right. The first one is work. Do you feel that work has been impacted greatly because of how you feel? You've touched a little bit on it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm still going, but I'm probably not doing as much. It's probably only a matter of time until that's picked up on. Okay. But yeah, so I suppose the quality is suffering a little bit. Yeah, so you're attending, but it's the quality that you're aware of, and you feel that could be picked up on. Possibly, Okay. What about your sort of domestic setup, if you like, so how your housework and those kind of things? Do you think that's affected at all? Housework probably is. Yeah, I haven't really given it much thought actually. I'm probably not doing as much as I was. Then I'm not doing as much. Like, I'm not cooking or anything like that, so I don't really need to clean as much as I did, but probably I could do more.
Yeah.
And I have done more in the past, I'd say.
I suppose that area kind of includes paying bills and all that kind of thing. Is that
no, I'm all up to date with that. That's all diet debit.
Yeah.
So yeah, nothing like
nothing
that.
concerning you about that. No. Okay. And the next one is social life, and you've kind of touched on the fact that you're not seeing your friends as much, and perhaps avoiding them is the word that you used. Is there anything further you want to?
No, I mean that's it really. I'm just I kind of cut that out. I think because I've got no energy. That's one of the things that's gone. People do still come round every now and then.
Yeah.
And that's quite nice actually when they do. It's just I'm not going out as much as I used to.
Yeah, so you're not seeing them as much, but they are still present in your life.
Yeah.
And what about family and sort of personal relationships? How is that affected?
Well, just my brother's my closest family member. So. Like I said, I'm not seeing him as much. I think he's picked up on the fact that my mood's dropped a little bit, so he's visiting me a bit more. So I don't think there's no problems there, but it has changed slightly, I'd say.
Okay, so there's a shift there, but there's nothing that you're concerned about.
No, there's no problems.
Okay, and what about your sort of private life, hobbies and things like that? Is that something?
Yeah, I suppose again that. Like I said, I just watch TV really when I've got any free time. I used to read a bit more.
Yeah.
Go to the gym. I don't do that really, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's probably struggled.
Okay. Struggling with the gym. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So just to summarise in terms of the consequences of how you're feeling, how that has impacted. You mentioned work and how you're aware of the quality, but you're still going. Housework is kind of okay. You feel quite comfortable with that area of your life. And socially, you're not seeing your friends as much, and the same really applies to your family. And you're struggling with some of your hobbies, so you're not you're watching TV anymore and not going to the gym, reading and stuff like that.
Yes, right. Yeah.
Is there anything that I've missed there, or is that pretty much?
No, I think that covers it really.
Yeah. Okay. Right, so the next thing we're going to do, and again this is something that we do on every session, is a series of questionnaires. The idea of these is to get like a baseline as to the problems that you're experiencing at the moment, and we monitor this basically to ensure to look for any changes and to ensure that you're experiencing the right type of treatment. Really. So there's a couple of ways we can do this. Either I can give these to you, I'll explain them to you firstly, but either I can fill these in for you, or you can fill them in yourself. I don't know how comfortable you feel.
If you explain them, I'm sure I can manage.
Yeah, okay, so I'll just run through them for you. So basically, the idea of these is that you're thinking about the last 2 weeks only, and considering how often you've been bothered by the problems that are listed here. And then rating yourself on this scale. So not at all, they've bothered you for several days, for more than half the days over the last 2 weeks, or nearly every day.
Right, okay.
Okay, so that's for these two here. And I'll go over the scores afterwards. This one's measuring phobias. It's a bit different. It's thinking about how much you avoid these situations listed here and rating yourself out of 8. So 0 being that you will not avoid it, to 8 being that you always avoid it. There's some questions on your employment status here. And lastly, this one's called Work and Social Adjustment Scale. This one's looking at the impact, so covering what we talked about here. So how your problems are affecting your ability to do day-to-day tasks. And again, the scale is 0 to 8 on this one. So 0 is not at all, to 8 very severe, you can't do it.
Okay.
Is that?
That
makes
sounds
sense?
just ticking, isn't it?
Yeah, are you comfortable doing that?
Yeah, I think so. Okay. And it's bothering me.
Yeah, how much they're bothering you. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
I think so.
Lovely, thank you. Okay, so I'll just top these up because I'm giving score. Okay, so this one here is measuring depression. You're scoring 12 out of 27. which indicates a moderate level of depression. Okay. And this one is 6 out of 21, and this one measuring anxiety, and that indicates a mild level of anxiety currently.
Okay.
Does that reflect how you feel, would you say?
Yeah, I'm surprised about the anxiety actually, but certainly the depression bit doesn't surprise me. That sounds.
So surprised in what way?
Well, I don't really feel anxious. I wouldn't say.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I mean that's very, so 5 and above is mild, so you are quite low
Okay.
on that scale there. Yeah. So it does indicate that depression is kind of the main difficulty for you at the moment.
Yeah, that certainly sounds about right.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, so like so, excuse me, we do revisit these to monitor for change. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing those. Okay, so we've just got a few quick questions to ask you. So you mentioned that you've been feeling like this for a couple of months. So have you experienced anything like this before?
No, nothing that I've ever gone to get help for. No,
Okay.
yeah.
So
Never been to the GP for feeling low before.
Okay, so you've never been to the GP, and does that mean you've not had therapy before?
No, nothing like that. I've had down days, but not for this long.
Yeah. Okay. And are you on medication at the moment?
No, the GP said come here first.
Okay. And do you drink much alcohol at the moment?
No, not really.
No.
Maybe a glass of wine, probably most nights actually.
Yeah, just one
Just
glass?
yeah, just one.
One small glass or large glass?
Probably quite a large glass,
Okay.
I'd say. But yeah, only one, just when I get in from work.
Okay, and do you smoke much?
No, I don't smoke.
No smoking, yeah. And do you drink much caffeine?
No, not really.
No.
A cup of coffee in the morning.
Okay. So why would you say you've come to come to our service now?
Mainly it's the GP really. I didn't know what to expect. Probably medication, I suppose, is what I was thinking. But the GP just said, you know, this is the service that could help. And I think it just got to the point where I realised things weren't getting any better. I assumed I'd just snap out of it really, but it hasn't happened. So.
Okay. Okay, so it's your GP that suggested you come here, and so you've taken his advice, really. Yeah. Okay. So, is there anything else you think would be useful for me to know at this stage?
No, I can't think so. I think it's covered it all.
Covered it. All right. Lovely, thank you. So the next section that we're going to move on to is called problem statements. Okay, and the idea with this is that it's a small summary that pulls together all the things that you've told me into one, into a snapshot really as to what's going on for you, and that it serves as being kind of the base, if you like, for the type of intervention, type of work that we do moving forward.
Okay.
So it's basically putting all the bits together into 1 or 2 sentences.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll write that together now, if that's okay. It's in your words completely.
Okay.
Okay. So a good way to start it is when my main problem is. What would you think needs to go in there?
Main problem is just feeling down. Yeah, certainly feeling down all the time.
Yeah, feeling down all the time. Okay, so if you think about some of the things you said about how it affects you physically, what's the most important thing?
The most important thing is the energy, feeling tired, feel tired, and I've got no energy. That's
Okay, so feeling down all the time.
Yeah.
And tired and no energy.
Yeah, I feel tired and I've got no energy.
Yeah. And what would you say the main sort of behavioural change? So that's the things that you do or don't do.
I've stopped seeing people, really, isn't it? I've stopped socialising. And I'm watching TV instead, basically. So, and I'm watching more TV.
And I'm watching more TV, yeah. So I feel tired, have no energy, and have stopped socialising and watching more TV.
Yeah.
So and we need to think about some of the thoughts that you're having, perhaps.
I think I can't be bothered was the best, yeah, that kind of sums it up really.
I think I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that what you said?
Yeah, I can't be bothered to do
bothered.
things.
Yeah.
Particularly work.
Okay. What would you say the main impact is?
Main impact is that I'm not seeing my friends.
Okay.
And
I suppose we've got that there, haven't we? Have stopped socialising.
Yeah. And my work is struggling, perhaps. Yeah, I think.
So I think I can't be bothered to do things, particularly work. And
which is struggling.
Which is struggling. Okay. So I'll just read that back and see if that's covered everything for you. So my main problem is feeling down all the time. I feel tired and have no energy and stop socialising and I'm watching more TV. I think I can't be bothered to do things, particularly work, which is struggling.
Yeah, particularly my work, which is struggling. That would be.
Particularly my work.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything there that you would like to change?
No, that really does. That's it, I think.
Yeah, you think that sums that up?
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, so we'll use that as a base and we'll revisit that in our next session just to remind ourselves as to sort of where you're up to.
Okay.
And whether that needs changing again. Okay. But what we've discussed so far suggests that you're experiencing some symptoms of depression at the moment, which was indicative in the questionnaires that we did and based on what you're telling me. And how do you...
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
That kind of sums up what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to tell you a little bit about our service, we work with interventions or types of work that is based around the principles of cognitive behavioural therapy. Is that something that you've heard of before?
I've heard the term. I don't really know what it is.
Okay, so I'll just briefly tell you a little bit about that now. So this is a booklet that we tend to work from. It's called the Recovery Programme for Depression. Okay, and basically this works on different interventions that are based around the principles of cognitive behavioural therapy, looking mainly around 3 different areas, and that's the autonomic, which is your physical sensations, the behaviours, so the things that you do or that you perhaps stop doing or you're doing more of, and the cognitions, that's the C, which is your thought patterns. And what we're looking at with cognitive behavioural therapy is how those 3 areas kind of interact with each other. And you can end up in what we can describe as a vicious circle.
Right.
Okay, so if I give you a bit of an example based on some of the things that you've told me. So you said that you tend to feel down a lot of the time, and some of the thoughts that you're having are, I can't be bothered to do things. So that's your thought there.
Yeah.
And you might wake up in the morning feeling quite tired, which is what you said.
Yeah.
And so if you wake up feeling tired, you might lead to a thought of, I can't be bothered to go to work.
Yeah.
The behaviour linked to that, from what you've told me, is that you go to work, but you're not putting in as much effort as you used to do. So there's an impact there on in the way that you're behaving, I guess. So you can see how those 3 areas are kind of linked together, and how they can kind of get caught up with each other and have an effect on each other. So what we're looking at with CBT is about how to work on one of those areas with the idea that it will have an impact on the other area. So if you can, if we work on the thought pattern that you're having, then it might have an impact on the way that you do things. So if you're not feeling so down about going to work, it might mean that you feel that you can do more at work in the way that you used to.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I can see the idea behind it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to explain that to me a little bit?
So the idea would be that at the moment I'm in a negative kind of cycle, and so everything is making everything else worse. But what we could do is change either the way I think or the things that I do, which might make me think or feel better, and then it will start to make things like a positive.
Yeah, that's the crux of it, really. And this book explains it in a bit more detail, and that's this is for you to take home and have a read through. It might seem a little overwhelming. It's quite long, isn't it? Yeah, so don't worry about that. The best thing to do would be just to read step 1 and step 2, which is about a little bit of understanding a bit about what we do as a service, but then looking a bit more about depression and low mood and how it can affect you, and that will explain what we've just talked about in more detail. And at the back as well, there's some recovery stories.
Oh, okay.
So there's 3 stories at the back here, people who have experienced similar symptoms to yourself and have used this book to help themselves deal with their symptoms and get into a life that they want to lead. So it might be helpful to read through those just to get an understanding as to how it works. And then next session what we'll do is discuss in a bit more detail the actual interventions that we could do. Okay, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so basically just have a kind of read through the first sections and look at the bits in the back.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds doable.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll give that to you.
Thank you.
Any problems, then just give me a call and we can discuss that further. So the next appointment, how do you feel comfortable with that being in a week or 2 weeks? What would you prefer?
Probably best to do a week. That'll bring a bit of a push to get it done. It's not that much, so.
Okay, and is this venue okay?
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah.
Okay, and same time next week?
Yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great.
Brilliant.